Hi, I'm Mark Toole with 8020service.com. Today's customer service video question of the day is also from Quora. The question is, why is comprehension lacking in customer service? Well, it certainly seems that way, especially if you call, we'll pick on these guys again, the conventional call center customer service environment. You call, you ask a very simple question, and the guy goes off on some ridiculous tangent about nothing that has nothing related to what you're talking about at all. He starts asking you silly questions. My internet's not working. Oh, how many devices do you have connected to your router? Doesn't matter, asshole. My internet's not working. You know, things like that. Then you think, these people don't have any comprehension. They don't understand what I'm saying. And some of the other answers to this question sort of hint at that. Like, they're just talking about, oh, these people are in other countries with fake names, and then an old Russian lady calls and they can't understand her. That's not what this question's really about, I don't think. I think it's much deeper than that. And quite frankly, I think that people in a lot of these outsourced customer service people in other countries can understand you just fine as far as a language barrier, and as far as what I'm actually going to talk about, understanding what you want, understanding what you're trying to do. There are some problems, though, whether it's outsourced, whether it's in the U.S., whether it's in-house or outsourced locally or internationally, I guess we could say. And the problem is, because even when you're talking to a real person, you're not talking to a real person in these companies. You're talking to an NPC. You're talking to someone who sits there with a thing plugged into their ear and a team of nerds listening and nitpicking over every word they say. They have two computer screens set up. One of them has a list of procedures manuals. The other one has a list of scripts. If customer asks about this, read script 47B, and then here's the scripts. Maybe there's a third screen where they have a system where they can process refunds or whatever the hell they do all day long. It's not that they don't understand you, it's that they're not even listening to you, they're not there. That person working in that job has been turned into a piece of office equipment. It's the interface between the telephone line and the procedures guide and the list of scripts. So that person understands what you're saying, only to the extent it's looking for patterns in what you're saying that match something in the procedures guide so that it can find the thing in the procedures guide and read the appropriate script, take the appropriate steps. Even if the actual person working there fully understands what you're talking about, knows the answer to your question, could solve it in a second, they don't, because they're not allowed to, because they're not working that job. They are a piece of office equipment running that programming, running those scripts, running those procedures guides, and that's what you're dealing with. So it's not that the person doesn't understand you, it's that understanding you and doing what you're asking them to do is not in line with what their boss is telling them to do, what their programming, their scripts, their procedures guides are telling them to do. So you say, yeah, I mean, listen, I'll give you a specific example. I've called, my internet provider is Comcast. Every time I have trouble with them, I have to call them. Every time I call them, they try to sell me landline phone service. It is the year 2019. I am not an elderly woman. I don't need landline phone service. But they continue to try to sell me on this thing every single time because they're told to. So every time I call them now, I say, listen, do not try to sell me television service. Do not try to sell me landline phone service. I do not want these things. It's not because I cannot afford these things. It's because I do not want them. Do not try to sell them to me. And a minute later, we have a bundle package where you could get landline. The comprehension is there. The person says, oh, okay, sure. And then they do it anyways because they don't want to be punished. They don't want to be fired from their $11 an hour call center job. That's the real answer here. It's not that comprehension is lacking. It's that, well, giving a fuck is lacking. They're not there to listen to you, to help you, to solve your problems, any of these things. Yes, in a broad sense, they kind of are. But really, that individual person doesn't care about you, doesn't care about your problems, doesn't care about the company, doesn't care about the profits, doesn't care about anything at all besides doing what needs to be done at a job that they don't like so that they don't get fired or punished or have a talking to with their big fat manager who reeks of cigarette smoke and hasn't been outside in 3 years. They don't want to have to talk to this person. I don't want to have to talk to this person. No one wants to have to talk to this person. So they do as they're supposed to do to avoid getting in trouble, to avoid anything that might jeopardize their shitty job that they're at, until maybe they snap one day and call you an asshole and throw the phone across the room and quit. But you're not going to be it's unlikely you'll be lucky enough to get that particular day when you call one of these businesses. So I don't think it's that comprehension is lacking. I think that giving a fuck is lacking, and I think that comprehension and therefore actually trying to solve someone's problems are not incentivized or not optimized for. In fact, they're secondary. The only thing that really matters to these people, in the sense of this job, of course, not in the real world, but in order to continue their job, in order to get good ratings or reviews or whatever at their job, the thing that matters is pleasing the bosses, pleasing the team of nerds that nitpicks over every second of every call, listening to everything they say. It's all recorded. They go back and they get little sheets where they grade them on it. Oh, you didn't read the right script there, Tim. Well, I understood that this is what he was asking for, and I gave it to him. Okay, cool, but you didn't read the right script there, Tim. That's a point off your score or whatever. So that's the real answer, I think. Yes, are there cases where someone doesn't understand something? Maybe. Are there cases where these companies hire the stupidest, lowest level, least motivated people? Yes. I don't think they're doing it on purpose. I think that the way they structure the job is that these are the only people who are going to apply for it. Because the way I've described this, sitting there plugged into a machine, looking at other machines, being a piece of office equipment that interprets human speech, that doesn't sound very appealing. Not using your brain, not using your rational faculties at all, your comprehension, if you want to call it that. That's not a very appealing job for anyone with the skills or abilities or knowledge to do anything else. So naturally, the lowest level people go for these jobs because no one else wants them, or the people who, higher level people who don't know, get in there, realize the thing's shit, and get out, and you're left with the people who are stuck, the people who actually are stuck, or the people who feel like they're stuck. That's what you're left with. So there is probably some actual lack of comprehension there. It comes from lack of giving a shit, and maybe to some degree the quality of the people they hire, but that's secondary, and I think that's more of a cause, an effect of all these other things I've been talking about rather than an actual cause. So that's all for today. I'm going to wrap this video up here. As always, if you like this, like, thumbs up, subscribe, follow, all that stuff, depending what platform you're on. I post these on Quora, I post these on YouTube, so if you have a question, ask me on Quora, ask me in the comments on YouTube. I may use it in a future video. Any customer service, business, marketing type topics, that's what I talk about. And I also write regularly on this stuff on Quora in response to questions, and on the website, which is 8020service.com. So go there, get on the list. There's a daily email that goes out. Got a good one queued up for today. If you're watching this live or close to live, I guess it's not live, but get on the list. You'll get all that stuff there as well. Otherwise, that's all for today, and I'll be back tomorrow with another video.